Now freeze.
What's up, guys? It's Frozen. Welcome back to the first discussion video we've had in a good minute. But we're going to be talking about how Dragon Ball Super's manga portion is kind of ruining Ultra Instinct as a form/technique and Goku as a character in general. So I guess let's just get right into it. In the last chapter of Dragon Ball Super manga, Goku's kind of using the form incorrectly, and they pointed out themselves. That's why I'm kind of confused on why they're choosing to go this direction. If Goku knows the way to use Ultra Instinct and he's choosing not to, the explanation they gave an explanation for it, but like it doesn't make sense. So instead of using it, as a counter technique to like find the opponent's opening and attack it from there, he's using it as just another power up, like Super Saiyan or Kaioken or something like that, using it as a power up instead of a technique, which is what it really is. So he's fighting Moro, the same person who beat him in Super Saiyan Blue in every other form he had pretty much, and he's losing in Ultra Instinct. And instead of trying to use Ultra Instinct correctly, to dodge and counter his attacks, he's powering up in it, and he's losing sight of what makes Ultra Instinct, and that's probably part of the reason he's losing. It's probably a major part of the reason he's losing, actually. And he's made the same mistake before in the Dragon Ball Super manga when he was fighting Jiren, and Master Roshi pointed out to him that you shouldn't focus on strength. Strength is the only thing when there's technique involved, and he accepted that, and then that's how he unlocked the Ultra Instinct sign in the first place, or omen, or whatever you want to call it. But we see him in the Moro arc repeating the same mistake that he made back then, and it's like that's why I'm saying they're ruining his character, because Goku generally, when it comes to fighting, he's generally a smart character when it comes to combat in general. So he doesn't usually make the same mistake twice, but in Super you see him repeating the same mistakes constantly. And I'm not sure how you guys feel about it, maybe because people say you shouldn't take Dragon Ball too seriously. I'm never that type of person. I get the Dragon Ball story and writing is the greatest out there, but that doesn't excuse them to keep doing shit like this just because they're more of an action-oriented anime. Just if you choose to write a story, you should at least be constant throughout, no matter if you're action-oriented or not. But back to the main point. That was a side around it. Back to the main point at hand. Ultra Instinct is meant to be a technique. It doesn't focus on brute force, and this is the second time in a row we've seen Goku use it outside of its intended ability. So I'm not sure what Toyotaro is going for, if he wants Goku to be an idiot, because I guess I'll go into the reason that they gave for him to do it. Sorry about that. To go into the reason that they gave for him doing this. He said that Goku knew that he could control it for long, so instead of using it the intended way, he just decided to try to bring out his max power to try to end Moro quickly, which in a way makes sense. But if the whole point of Ultra Instinct is to be a counter mechanic and to exploit openings, if you use it the wrong way to try to end a fight quickly, then you're missing the point of Ultra Instinct. That's not the way to. If you're gonna do that, go Super Saiyan Blue or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Try to do it that way. Because if you're trying to rely on something that's not instinct while in Ultra Instinct, all you're doing is taking away from what you could be doing, so you're not really getting the full potential out of the form, if you get what I'm saying. But I don't know. I just dislike how Dragon Ball Super keeps trying to harp on Goku's shortcomings, like this Goku letting his guard down. That's not really. There was a concept that Super really came up with, and they're trying to drive home. Because, Dragon Ball Z, Goku never really let his guard down in the fight. Even if the opponent was weaker, Goku always, he'd fight to a level suiting his opponent. He never really, even if he held back, that doesn't mean he let his guard down. Like, even when we tried to use him as an example, when he was training him in Vegeta, he said, you let your guard down, and punched him while the literal training exercise was over. That's not an example of Goku letting his guard down. That's an example of you punching this nigga while he's not paying attention. That's what that is. So I'm not sure why Dragon Ball Super keeps trying to harp on Goku's weaknesses that they are making up themselves and haven't really been a constant throughout the series. And I also don't like how it seems like they can't. I know a lot of people like Super, so I'm trying not to shit on it. I just want to have this conversation because it's kind of annoying me. But I'm just gonna say it. They can't they can't be consistent in their writing. Because Goku literally learned the lesson about powers and everything, and you should focus on the technique. That's how he got Ultra Instinct in the first place. And that happened in the Tournament of Power. And then one arc later, well, I guess technically two, since the manga skipped over the Broly's shit. So 2 arcs later, you have him repeating the exact same mistake that he's already been through. It's like Dragon Ball Super just keeps, like, okay, a good example: Goku and Vegeta when they fused into Gogeta. When back in Z, when they fused to Vegito, Goku used Bulma and all that. It's like, hey, we got to do this, or you'll lose Bulma and Trunks. And Vegeta like, I bet, let's fuse. When they fused into Gogeta, he used the same thing. Like it's like they reuse character development. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like, it's not character development if you keep if they got to go through the same exact development. That mean they didn't develop. If you get what I'm saying, I don't know. This is the first discussion video I've done in a minute. The first YouTube video I've done in a minute. But I'm trying to get back into it, so if it sounds a little rough, I'm sorry. I haven't recorded in a minute. Thank y'all for coming out. This is going to be the end of the video. Frozen out. Peace.